I'm here with my most awesome friend and amazing teacher and illuminator, Guru Singh Khalsa. It's nice to be here with you.
It's good to be here, and being such a big fan of your music, I was really glad that we're going to have your music as a part of our class.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to jam out and play like we've done many times before. And it's a special occasion. We're going to be talking about a unique way of going through Saturn Return yogically and how to work with the energies and what's going on during that time. And Guru Singh is going to be taking us through that. Can you kind of share with us how this came to be and what this is comprised of?
Well, yogis have forever realized the binary nature of the cosmos, right? And that it's through that binary, meaning the polar opposites, the polarities that operate. And so this is the Jupiter finger, which is to learn your lessons with great joy. And this is the Saturn finger, which means to learn your lessons with challenge, with that concentrating challenge. And so what we end up with is this Saturn, which is in place at your time of birth. It returns around the sun between 27 and 29 years. It returns again in another 27, 29 years, and again, and again, and again. And what it's doing, it's reintroducing that birthing concentration that literally took you from the cosmos and delivered you from the earth. And then it takes you from one period of your life and delivers you into the next.
Right.
And then takes you from the next and delivers you. And it's that Saturn finger, which as you look, it sits between the thumb and the first finger and the ring and the little finger. So it's right there in the middle. And it's that Saturnian in the middle that is guided by the pressure of that which surrounds it. And so when you reach your late 20s, oftentimes what it feels like is you're actually starting to be born into that adulthood, that true adulthood. And that's the first cycle of Saturn. And then as it returns to that original position of your birth, then you're born again. And you go through the next phase of your life up until 54, 55, 56 years old. And that's a concentration of a period of your life that you've really had the opportunity to build something. And so the beauty of this Saturn return in life, especially the one that is that first one, right, where you're going through that very first cycle of re-entering the rebirth, you've got a lot of different pressures, and it's there to hone you and to align you to learn that the navigation of grace is what allows you to come through life not unscathed, but unblocked. That you allow the blockages to become guidances that you sort of bounce and reflect off of.
I think that's so true. I mean, just based on pure experience, when I was going through that time, which was only a few years ago, so much pressure. And you don't know why you're feeling it. You don't know where it's coming from. You're not sure what you're supposed to take out of that time. But clearly things are coming up that need to get moved out of the way so that you can become a more authentic, more complete, more aware version of who you truly are. And what you're describing is like a rebirthing, is what it sounds like. And that's certainly what it feels like to go through it, I would say.
If you take it as an opportunity for rebirthing, then you prosper from it. If you take it as a really tough time, then you don't prosper from it. You get disheveled from it. You get disturbed from it. And that's usually what sort of sets you on course to come into a period which is, mid-late 30s, early 40s, of what's oftentimes called midlife crisis. And it's like crazy to call that the middle of your life, because that means that you're only going to live to about 70, 80, 90 years old, which is really a short lifespan. Yogically, if you live without collecting a lot of toxicity, and you eat properly, exercise properly, and sleep properly and do all those things, what you end up with is this opportunity to go through 6 of Saturn returns, which is 6 times 27. It's a good long life. What happens is that period of time in which you have great pressure is similar, as you said, in rebirthing to the time of your birth when you went through the most pressure.
Right.
And what each of these pressurized situations do, it makes your life, as you say, sort of scrape off the baggage.
Yeah.
Scrape off the barnacles.
Yes.
And then you are more streamlined and able to navigate the waves of time.
And that's what we're about to do, is to talk about and experience how to clear off the baggage, how to scrape off what's no longer needed energetically through this amazing science that we have, which is Kundalini Yoga. Can you explain a bit about what we're going to be doing?
We'll do a warm-up, a chant and a warm-up and a Kriya, and that align the 4 main joints of the body, which are your shoulders, which are the weight of the world, and your hip joints, which align the left intention, the right motivation with the pelvis of your purpose.
Right.
So then you have this intention, motivation, and purpose aligning with the weight, and how do you carry the weight of the world, and how do you balance your equality between intention and motivation and purpose. Kundalini Yoga is taught by Yogi Bhajan in many of the instances, and particularly in this Kriya, are what align this lower trilogy with this upper duality, this sharing and caring, so that you can allow the balance of the trilogy, the balance of the triangle, to offset the impact of the polarity, the conflict of polarity between caring and sharing, right?
Right.
And you have this body, which is just an instrument like our guitars that we'll be playing.
Right.
It's an instrument through which you literally turn the sounds of life into the music of life. And that is what Saturn in its tension, pressure, stress, and friction causes. There would be no drum sound, there would be no guitar sound, there would be no horn sound, there would be no vocal sound without the tension, pressure, stress, and friction that allows for that sound to be created.
Absolutely, that's so true. Yeah, we are an instrument,
yes,
but it doesn't just play itself.
Right.
It has to be plucked, it has to be vibrated, it has to go through those challenges.
And when we can do it harmoniously with each other, play off of each other, like we're going to do in class,
right,
then it's an opportunity to explore new possibilities.
Amazing. What an amazing tool to have at our disposal.
Yeah, instead of just thinking it sucks.
What's going on? Yeah, just being in that, you know.
And that's what the cosmos gives us every 27, 28 years, is that Saturn comes back into its position of our birth, and its return, that Saturn returning to its position of our birth, gives us that opportunity to really hone and shape our skill set in alignment with the environment and in alignment with the time, so that with the time, our environment, and our skill set, we create the ability to pass through.
Amazing. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Satnam.
Satnam.